I want to keep that song going. I had dance moves and all kinds of stuff for that. I see Hershey with the smile on right now. I love the boys. The boys were actually them, ABC. There was a whole crew of young black talented singers in those early 90s. Who just they made a difference. That they weren't able to have long careers. Some of them spawned off and did other things. But make sure you check out the boys. They had a pretty good album. They had songs like Lucky Charm, Down My Heart, and some other great hits. But do not download for free. Make sure you support it on iTunes. And so I've been sitting next to greatness this whole time. Young Nazir Alston is in the building. Let me give you a breakdown of this young brother. He is the CEO. Young CEO of NKA Creations. Now, that's a film production company that he has created because, again, we're talking about economics, right? He's not going to a studio saying, please help me. He and his father, Hershey, said, we're going to get down, put something together that is going to sustain us and protect our creative works. Now, he considers himself a student first. I love that. His profile says student first. Entrepreneur, second. Filmmaker, third. Now, this says a lot about his mindset. I want to learn first. Then I'm going to take what I learned and set up a structure for success next. And then I'm going to hone the craft by which I have this structure to protect it. That's grown man business, Nas.
Yeah.
That really is. That really is. And his persona, if you're streaming, you'll see his persona is just that. He is a CEO. Now, media all over has picked up his work. Scoop USA. He's on the front cover of the Tribune. He's there. The Black Suburban News, he's there. Umoja News, he's there. West Side Weekly, he's there. NBC 10, he is there. Now, he's an award-winning photographer. Now, the National Black Arts Spoken Word Tour, he received the Young Genius Award. Not like the Young Filmmaker Award. They said, no, he's a young genius at what he's doing. Now, University of Penn also gave him a Young Genius Award as well. The MLK Salute to Greatness Coretta Scott King Angel Award as well, along with Jordan Harris in the House of Representatives giving him an acknowledgement and a citation. Now, I want to say that it stops there, but it does not. Now, the truth is, this brother has now the Silver Student Category Award from the Philadelphia International Film Festival. He received that. The Gold Lee Whipper Award from the Philadelphia International Film Festival. He has that. The Robert Anthony Award. He has that as well. Now, it's not just his productions that he's involved in. Dave Chappelle has used him as well. Live from Radio City, just shot this year. Nas was on the list, production assistant and assistant camera. And that's not all, because, I mean, everything from Rich the Kid, the Keep Flexing tour, the Men of Understanding documentaries, some of the pieces that he's doing, Grant, his short films. He's doing conferences. Miss Black America has used him as a videographer. Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes.
That's big. Malcolm Gladwell used him as an editor in one of his events. The list could go on, man. I want to get you right to the microphone. First, it is an absolute honor to have a young talent such as yourself on Heart of the City.
Honored to be here.
So let's talk about this, man. What made you pick up a camera? What made you say that film is what you want to do? Because you're so focused, it's very clear that you have a grip on what you want to do and how you want to do it. What was the inspiration?
My inspiration for picking up a camera was me being myself on YouTube, just putting myself out there.
Okay.
And then I seen that there was value of being able to edit videos and have high quality videos. So I took it more serious and studied my craft of filmmaking. And then I liked it, and I wanted it to turn it into something that I could use for the future, for longevity.
Wow. So you studied the craft. Now Hershey, we're going to date ourselves on this. His father's in the studios. And he's giving them his space. But so when Hershey and I were in school, we had encyclopedia sets. I mean, literally, there were books, A to Z. And so that's some of what we used, and we used the free library. But you guys have Google. I mean, you have all these other search engines and ways to learn. Is that some of the things that you use as tools?
Yes, I like to say that I majored and studied at YouTube University. So
YouTube University. He has a sense of humor too as well. But you're absolutely right, because YouTube, there's so many, kind of like self-help videos and how-to videos. I remember, even renovating my house, there was YouTube videos around like sanding the floor and all these kind of things, right? So yes, you can figure out that, but there has to be a passion there. I mean, that goes beyond just the access to information. And so you already have a legacy plan. You're well on your way. What is your focus? What's your goal with this? You now have the camera in your hand. You now have award-winning documentaries and films. You have a long list of productions that you have scheduled. I mean, this is a full calendar. What's the end goal?
My end goal is just to leave a legacy that, with everything that I have created into this world, that it has a message behind it of basically we all need to do better.
We all need to do better. That's a t-shirt, a hashtag. My God, we do all need to do better. And so let's take a look through your eyes as a filmmaker. You've done this. You're doing documentaries on health issues, Incomplete Cell. We'll talk about that. You're doing issues on Black Wall Street. I mean, you've got, this brother is covering a whole gambit of cultural challenges and opportunities, right? So how do you see the world right now? We're pulling up the lens, right? What do you see through that 85 millimeter when you look?
I see a world that's hurt. For several years, from the beginning of time, a world that's hurt, and it needs some time to mend itself and get better, but it can't do it by itself. We all need to come together.
And how do we come together? Because you see it. You're there. You see the pain. You see the inability for the earth to do it on its own, and there needs to be participation of the people. What does that participation look like?
Listening. Listening to people. See their point of view, see their perspectives, see their visions, why they think that way. The better that you can understand somebody else's point of view, the more that you could meet in the middle.
So solving the challenges of the day is not about pushing your agenda on the issue, but rather listening to the other person's perspective.
Correct.
Sounds like you've been checking out Sun Tzu Art of War or something like that. Hershey's over here in the corner smiling. Dad has already set him up for mogul status. So that's your view, and you're absolutely right. I mean, if I could wear the t-shirt today, I would. But the world does not see it that way, because the world is selfish.
Correct.
The world has decided that I'm out of here really shortly, and so I'm just going to grab for me and mine's, and whatever happens, happens. The next generation will fix it, which is why we have this debt-based economy where we keep kicking the can down the road to youth. So you mentioned to me in the green room that you want to take your generation along for the ride with you and improve their condition.
Yes.
How does that get done? What does that look like?
Well, art is something that I feel as though that doesn't get enough attention or respect. We look at sciences and stuff to advance our future. I feel as though art is another way to advance our futures and secure them. So that's what I want to do. I want to try to secure everybody's future with art. I feel as though that's a missing element in a lot of people's, I guess,
in their world, in their psyche. Absolutely. And so, and we say, so during your father and I's time in growing up, you know, we watched hip hop go under attack, right? And so much so that hip hop was blamed at one point. They were burning CDs from artists, specifically on the West Coast, who were reflecting their reality. Congress was trying to pass legislation the banning hip hop music because they wanted to blame the art for the ills that were occurring.
If you actually look back at it, the whole thing was that Congress, the government, the higher ups, they just wasn't listening. It goes back to listening.
Yeah, I like this. I'm looking at Hershey. I'm smiling. You got to see this. There's a proud father in the corner. I mean, he is beaming. This is a chocolate brother who is going beet red right now, beaming with pride because his son is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, and you can hear hear the wisdom in this young man and the experience that he has. That he's very well versed in his articulation, and so. Let's get into these films.
Okay.
You have one called Incomplete Cell.
Yes, that was my first documentary. My first film that I actually released to the public. Yes.
So let's talk about it because you have a challenge. You have a personal story.
Yes.
Around Incomplete Cell.
All right. Yeah. So Incomplete Cell was a story that me and my father developed for the simple fact that I live with sickle cell. And the story, Incomplete Cell, the project was kind of launched from after a situation from leaving the hospital in the middle of the night, and I had nowhere to get home. So it was like, wow, this really needs to be documented because we can't be the only ones going through this.
Wow.
So during this time, I was still studying my craft, so it was time to apply it.
Wow.
And I applied it, put in hours of work in the editing, pre-production, production, post-production, and then when it was time to release it, we had a screening, and it was sold out, standing room only. Everybody was standing on the walls just to watch it because there was no more seats, and it was a great success. And then the film itself was screened at a few film festivals, and as well, when we released it online, it was in other countries such as I believe Nigeria and also one of the islands in the Caribbean. I forgot which one it was though. So
nevertheless,
it's worldwide.
It got some mileage.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's worldwide.
Wow. So how'd that make you feel? I mean, something that was just spawned from your everyday occurrence and your heroic battle with with this condition. Turns into a documentary that people in Nigeria are watching and supporting.
Yeah, I was. I'm a humble person, so it was like I was real humbled by it, and at the same time, I was surprised. But, I felt as though that it was something that it was going to happen anyways. I had a lot of faith in the documentary itself. I have a lot of faith in my work. Because my work ethic when it comes to film is like no other. I don't believe anybody can match my passion or my work ethic towards film. So
another reason to smile. I mean, this brother believes in himself, and he also believes in the higher power that is behind him and in support of him and directing him. So, and here's the challenge, and I want the listening audience to understand this. In order for you to have the success that you want to have, you have to see the vision more clearly than the reality that you're in at the moment. Somebody will get that on the ride home, but I'm going to give it to you one more again. In order to have the success that you want to have, you have to see the vision more clearly than the reality that you're living in currently.
yes,
And that was where you were.
yes, that's what our mantra for the company is: $35 in a vision. Because we started this company with $35. My dad had went to a place to go get some tickets printed up for a fundraiser, and that's how we funded the whole fundraiser for the food and stuff like that. The whole fundraiser was dependent upon these ticket sales. So sold those tickets, and We managed to get the food and stuff prepared for the fundraiser, and then we used those funds from the fundraiser to produce our first film, which was Incomplete Cell. And then people started to come to us for work.
Stop telling me that you need to go to the bank and have long conversations with the bank. $35 got a film company started that award-winning films are coming out of. $35.
Yes.
That's literally, you know, your food and a couple of drinks at the happy hour. So I want you to understand that and think about that. Every time you go to the happy hour and spend about $35, think about young Nazir Alston, who said, you know what, I'm going to take 35 and start a company. And it wasn't at 19 because you were already doing this. You started this when?
I was 16 at the time.
Wow.
I was 16 at the time, going on 17.
16 going on 17. I'm going to take $35 and start a foundation that's going to feed me, my family, and generations to come. Now, upcoming projects. You have a whole list of them. I mean,
yes.
The Vigilante Chronicles, which is a web series. The Next Sound, which is a hip-hop series. Now, here's one that really caught my eye. District Greenwood.
Yes.
The Amalgamated People. Break that down.
All right. So it's very simple in the title. District Greenwood. That is a town in Tulsa, Oklahoma that a lot of people don't know about, but it was basically bombed and burned down by white supremacists and who were jealous that black community was actually doing better across the street.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And amalgamated itself just means united.
There you go.
So
there you go. I tell you guys, I am floored at the level of balance that this young man has, focus, and the fact that he is cultured enough to understand his people, but then the history of his people, but also the needs of his people, and the fact that he can articulate the vision and get it on a grand scale. I want to get Dad into the conversation because I got about 5 minutes to do this, but now Hershey's cut from this is my brother from a whole different mother. We're cut from the tree of Joppa, so we got a whole different conversation. But Hershey, I respect you as a man for
Thank you.
The efforts that you have placed into your son's life, and you tell the story of being involved and being an involved father. So many times they want to pump the LeVar Ball conversations and knock fathers who are super aggressive around it, and they're using him almost as a parody of black men involved in their children's life. But there are everyday heroes such as yourself who are there, who are not on social media, who didn't even want to get in the radio interview. You sat back and just watched your son do his thing, and that's why I wanted to celebrate you and get you to the microphone, because we appreciate your leadership as a black man and a father in the community.
I thank you very much. I thought it was very important for him to be around good men. I've always felt like in order to be a good man, you must see a good man doing good things. So that was very important. As a young kid, I've always tried to surround him with very good and decent men, such as yourself. And I was hoping that one day that he would see these things, and eventually it must have rubbed off. So, I kind of talked to him a lot, but most of that is mostly him.
Wow.
So, that's a good thing.
So, Dad, you've been there through every step of the way, right? $35, and I mean, you've done it all, and you've stayed by your son's side. As a parent, talk to the other parents out here whose children have these entrepreneurial pursuits and dreams and visions. What do we need to know to get from point A to point B and C and D where you guys are now? What are some of the things we need to keep in mind?
Well, the formula is very simple. I just remember when he asked me to get him his first camcorder, and this was an off-pay week. And I said to him, is this something that you really want? And he said, yes. And I said, look, I may have to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches next week, but I'm going to get this camera for you, but I'm so glad that I invested in his dream. Wow. And I think that's the key, that you as parents, you have to invest in your child's dream. You may not get it, but sometimes these new millennials, they see a vision that we may not even be familiar with, but it's very important to invest. Had I invested, we wouldn't be here today.
So my youngest daughter wants a camera, right now, and so I was, I'm like, what do you need the camera for? Like,
Buy her the camera.
You got a smartphone.
Buy her the camera and send it to Nazir.
I'm on Amazon right now.
Get her the camera.
Let me order the camera because
get her the camera.
Little do I know, there's a young Issa Rae inside of her. Right?
Well, there's a young lady out here now, Nia Wolf.
Yes,
and they're friends. So,
right.
and just imagine. Wow. So, I would say invest and get her that camera. You can refer her to Nazir to show someone she can look in the same age group. Say, look, as a young man who wants to do the same thing, or he started out just like you.
Wow.
Wow.
So, Nazir, what do you want to tell, not your peers, but what do you want to tell the parents who are listening? What do you want to tell the world who's older than you, but they're watching you, and some may be watching in disgust because they're jealous of the gift in you, and some may be watching because they are amazed that the conditions that you face did not stop you from moving forward. Some of them are looking at you and going, how can I make money off of you? And then there are some who are looking at you going, we love you, brother, and we appreciate you. What do you want to say to them?
I just want to say, do your own thing. If you have a passion for something or you want to pursue something, go for it. And for anybody who is doing their own thing right now, just remember, you need to build your team up because no man is his own island, and always honor thy craft.
No man is his own island, and always honor thy craft. Wait a minute. Are you a brand marketer or something? I'm like, I gotta protect my company right now. But this brother is coming up with slogans and man, this brother is phenomenal. Young Kevin G, another filmmaker, and one of our brothers in the craft is saying, "Speak, young man, speak." He just sent you a message on our Facebook Live because there are those who are truly empowered by you. Shanice Johnson says, "I'm going to have my teens watch this. We're listening." So the world is listening, and we're watching you, good brother, and we're proud of you.
Appreciate it.
We're really proud of you, and we know you're going to do great and well. So there's there's an event coming up. So let's close this out now. NKA Production or Creations is your company,
correct?
That you run as a film production company, but you're actually doing production for individuals who need that capacity, who are doing events, and need a audio visual perspective. And so, don't say I didn't warn you. Now, this is I'm not talking to you guys. That's actually the title of the comedy extravaganza featuring our boy Cole from Martin, Carl Anthony Payne II. Javon Pearson will be in the building, comedian Chase, Joe the Boss, and many others. That's going to happen at the Ethical Society, 1906 South 8th Street, and that's happening January 27th.
Correct.
There's a buffet and all kinds of things happening. The doors open up at 6. Showtime is at 7. DJ Mobe is on the wheels, but all of that's nice. The fact of the matter is you're going to be there actually handling the production.
Yes, I'm taking all my knowledge that I learned from the David Chappelle show that my mentor, Delmar Washington, hooked me up with, and I'm applying it to this.
Wow. Which means ultimately we should be pushing. Here's the thing, guys. We should be pushing right now. We want to talk about black media being taken out and all those kind of things. The Roland Martin show, the Tavis Smiley shows, and the Lady B shows right here in Philly being removed from the market. Well, guess what? A lot of it's dealing with the economics of producing morning shows and the extreme costs that come with those shows. Guess what? There's a young man who actually has the chops who could come in and actually do these shows. We should be supporting him and cutting checks to this young brother. I'm absolutely honored to have Hershey and Nazir Alston in the studio. The show has been titled The New Generation of Griot. Make sure you support him. Go out to the event January 28th. We'll post it on Facebook. Go out and have a good time and get a chance to see Nazir in action. As always, you can catch us on social media. Heart City Radio Facebook, Heart City Radio Twitter, Heart City Radio Instagram. Feel beautiful, look beautiful, and act beautiful. Why? Because you are beautiful. We'll see you next week.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As you can tell, I'm absolutely floored at this young man's skill set, his gift, his commitment not only to his generation, his craft, and his community. I'm going to try that again. The generation, the craft, and the community. We got to get behind young brothers like this. We don't want them to grow their craft in an economic climate that won't allow them to grow. The things that are happening to black media right now can be solved with the togetherness of the support that we give young film creators and directors and talent hosts and all these kind of things. Our new Black Hollywood is already here. We don't have to create it. It's here. Let's cultivate it and let's support it. Now, tell the listening audience anything that you want to give them. This is our Facebook Live, YouTube Live crew.
I just want to say, once again, honor thy craft, work on you, and I know a lot of people have dreams, but they're scared to pursue it because of financial reasons. If you go into something worrying about the financial side of it, you'll never succeed in it. So if you go in it with 100% passion, the money's going to come right behind it.
The money will come. Stop worrying about the check. If you chase the check, you'll never catch the check. If you focus on the passion, the checks come because the checks are attracted to the passion. Hershey, take us out. Give them something.
Well, I just want to leave on one note, which kind of helped us, throughout since the beginning. I always say it's a sad thing to have sight but no vision, and I think that's very important in anything that you do.
Wow. Wow. Having sight but no vision. That's tweetable, quotable, and something to live by. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you share this show. Listen, it'll be on the Heart City Radio website. It'll also post on our Facebook page. I want you to take it and sit down and let your children see Nas in action. Let your children see the future of Black Hollywood that's right here in Philadelphia. Make sure that your children know that they can do anything. They are already in position. All we have to do is cultivate their tools and give them the support that they need. I'll see you next week.